Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bulletproof Underwear, episode number 153. I'm your co-host, Yam Juice.
And I'm your co-host, Flex.
And today we've got a very special treat. A very interesting young man with a lot of talent. He's a musician. He's an artist. He's a Halo player extraordinaire. None other than the Pointyhead, Teh Pointyhead. Yeah! I never know how to pronounce that T-H.
Teh Pointyhead.
Teh or the?
People call me so.
All right, so why do they call you the pointy head? Your head looks about normal.
Yes, well, I always use the Photos armor. So, usually with the Photos armor, it's like a unicorn helmet, so that's what
I gotcha. So you're one of those guys with the pointy heads.
Or you call it a spearhead. Whatever one.
Yeah. I forgot what mine is called, but I like the one that looks like a diving mask.
That's what would be the diving mask, face mask.
It's the diving mask helmet.
They're my friend. They're Photos.
Is that a boy or a girl, Katie?
It's a girl cat.
Kiki.
She hates being held, but she loves being pet.
Yeah, my cat likes to get right up on the chair right behind me, too.
Does she attack you while she's on the chair?
I wouldn't call it attacking. It depends on who you ask. Her or me. I don't know. Maybe it's attacking. So, anywho, you had linked us with some video of you doing a song. You were the singer, and you wrote the song. Do you have a stage name that you use, or what do you call your act, like Captain and Tennille, or whatever?
Just Ezra Romanov.
Ezra, okay.
That is my legal name, and that's
the name you use.
Yep.
Ezra. There was a band used to be called
Better Than Ezra.
Better Than Ezra. You probably don't remember that. That was in the 90s.
I'm a 90s baby.
There you go. So you are a musician. So how long have you been messing around with music?
Yeah.
Well, it became a dream of mine when I was about maybe 7 years old. Music, as far as when I started singing, I'd say about 12 years old. So from age 12 and up is pretty much how long I've been doing music.
Wow. So,
do you work with a professional trainer or anything like that, or?
I do not. I do work with producers. I do go to a professional studio all the time. So I'll just give a shout out to Platinum Sound Studios in New York City. I go there quite often to record there. And Outer Limit in Buffalo, New York. Ken is a great engineer and knows what he's doing.
Ken in Buffalo. All right. Well, nowadays ordinary people can have a pretty impressive studio just built into their computer with all the effects and stuff, plugins, and you just need a couple of pieces of gear and you can actually do a little bit of home recording. Do you do that too?
No, I don't. I will record maybe betas, but I will not record a final product from my house. It takes a lot more work than just simply throwing a couple of instruments together and maybe just a couple programs. It takes a lot more than that.
Yeah. Well, the mics have to be really good, and also the acoustics of the room that you record in have to be right.
Actually, that plays a part in how good the quality is, yes. But you could also have yourself a soundproof small section of the room that would even do pretty good. But I have found that 90% of the home studios that I have used myself were trash. Compared to the professionals, it doesn't compare.
Well, of course, yeah.
Well, yeah, I suppose because you got somebody that's spending thousands of dollars on design to make sure it's perfect versus somebody trying to squeak by and get the best quality they can for.
Yeah. Now I've been a sort of a guitar player messing around with it for a long time, and I'm old, so I actually used to work at Guitar Center back in the '80s, and it was very big. They were selling these little Tascam Porta Studios, these little consoles. It was like a 4-track multi-track thing that would record on cassette. Yeah, they'd have a little mixer. Some of them would have 2-channel mixers, some of them would have 4, and you could plug in those cheap ass kind of mics that have the quarter-inch jacks on them. Or if you were using a good mic, you'd have to get an adapter. And people actually, would spend a lot of time trying to come up with music on their own little studios here. They record whatever. But nowadays, like GarageBandification.
Yeah, GarageBand is okay. I prefer Pro Tools over GarageBand simply because of you get a lot more channels in Pro Tools, obviously. And a lot of the effects are great on there, especially Melodyne. Melodyne is a really great product. It's alone, I believe, about $500 alone just for that one plugin.
Yeah.
And then there's, I'd say the different choices in the reverb on there. There's studio sound reverb on there. There's also some that will make you sound like you're way off in space in an auditorium and all this kind of stuff.
So do you ever abuse the Melodyne like the Cher effect? Do you believe in love after love? The T-Pain effect. I hate that shit.
To me, I'd rather have it as realistic as possible. I do not want all that correction. I don't want auto-tune and all that kind of stuff usually. If I do for a specific sound, then yeah, I will use it. But most of the time, I try not to get involved with it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So, all right. So you've got that single out. Are you working on some more material?
Yes, I'm actually working on my debut album. It is scheduled to release this year. It's probably going to be around sometime in December. So the name of the album is Innocent Rain. The reason why I call it Innocent Rain is based off of the album, and the album is based off of human trafficking awareness.
Oh, wow. Okay. So a cause.
Yes.
All right, so stick with us, viewers. We will start talking about video games in a little bit. I know how our audience is, so don't worry. We will talk about video games. But so human trafficking, that's a pretty heavy duty issue.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
It's scary. It's tragic, and it's sickening.
Well, I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and we have plenty of it. You can look and see those ads for massage parlors and stuff like that, and all those girls are, they're all fresh off the boat, from wherever countries they're from.
It's most popular in the Ukraine, Russia, and throughout Asia.
Yeah. Well, we have it in America too. There's trafficking. Yeah,
City.
We're probably going to have it mostly, in L.A., San Francisco, New York, maybe, some of the other East Coast cities. Bring in people when people arrive from other countries, especially on the West Coast, because we're close to Asia.
Well, plus there's big ports on both coasts, so.
All right, so you're like a. So what did you think? What did you think about current events? Here's our current events. What did you think about the Josh Duggar story about the guy on that show? He's like they're fundamentalist Christians, and turns out he was molesting his sisters and stuff like that.
To tell you the truth on that, if I was there, I probably would have murdered him. I I don't give a crap what anyone else says. If they say it's murder, I call it temporary insanity.
Well, I just saw while I was waiting for my sandwich to cook, I watched a video where his parents were trying to, explain. They had an interview on TV with some Fox News thing, of course. Fox News.
You mean they were trying to defend him?
Yeah. Well, they were trying to say, like, well, the Lord has forgiven him. It was a long time ago, and the Lord has forgiven him.
Well, how the fuck would they know, man?
I believe, yes, God will forgive. However, that's a unforgivable crime to begin with. You do not hurt children. That is one of the main things. So already he's condemned to hell.
Okay. Don't mince your words here. Tell us what you really think.
Oh, you don't want to know what I really think.
What is going through my mind, literally, is how much I would seriously love to beat the shit out of any pedophile out there.
Yeah. Well, he was 14, so he was a kid himself. I mean, sort of, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
Many different cultures, once you are 13, you are a man. You are an adult. And when you reach the age of 13 or adolescence, you are a lot more aware of your surrounding. You are more aware of your body, what it can do, and other people's as well. So during that time, yes, that is usually a time of sexual experimentation and stuff. So I could kind of, in a way, understand the feelings that was going through his mind. However, to take it out on other people, no.
Yeah.
And if you're going to fantasize about something, go ahead and fantasize about it, but never, ever do the act. Never commit a crime about it. Never take an innocence away from another child.
Yeah. So do you think that the show 19 Kids and Counting should be dropped?
I think it should be completely canceled. And I think all the money that they earned off it should be refunded.
I'm willing to throw something out here. I have a challenge to the Duggar family. Any one of you motherfuckers want some, man? I'm right here, buddy, man. Come get some.
My cat right here, she will even help. I mean, you try to pick her up, she'll claw your face out.
Okay.
She doesn't look like much. But she's ferocious, can't you tell?
She does look like a beast, a killer. Well, speaking of beasts, let's get into video games. So you tweeted out a screen capture of your Halo Master Chief Collection playing time, and it was 500 and something hours on that game.
570 something hours, 77 hours.
Oh.
Yeah, I did the math. I pulled out a calculator and figured out that you played, what was it, 24 days or 25 days or something like that on the Master Chief Collection. Just ungodly. And it's like I looked at it like it's been out 8 months. So you put in some time on that game.
I did, and every single campaign is completed legendary. And I would say 3 out of the 5 are done solo. What
was the hardest to do legendary?
Well, I honestly will say Halo 1. That is the hardest one on legendary. Halo 2, a lot of people argue and say Halo 2 is. However, I know so many glitches and stuff to get around the enemy on there. On Sniper Alley. Just going right up on top of the building, you could skip 90% of what was going on there. So
cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of a relative newcomer to Halo. I've only been playing Halo since about 11 months now. I was a Call of Duty guy for the last 3 years before that, and Ghost wasn't doing it for me. So like, what else could I play? So that's when I picked up Halo 4. It was already past its prime. Did Halo 4 have a prime?
Actually, believe it or not, Halo 4 sold more copies than Halo Reach. I believe Halo 3 as well. I'm not combined or if it was separately, but Halo 4 did really well as far as sales. However, a lot of people call what I like to call Bungie fans. They were hating on 343 Industries. They were hating on Halo 4, and they were saying it's too much like COD just because of the fact that Sprint is in there and the fact of the
loadouts.
Yeah, loadouts and stuff, and ordinances.
And the kill streaks, yeah, you get the ordinances.
I could say yes on that. That is a little like COD. However, everything else, I mean, Bungie already put all that stuff in place. I mean, you had Sprint and Halo Reach. You had armor abilities in Halo Reach. You had killing sprees in all of the Halos. Sprint was just put down as a default thing because you're not going to say, oh, I'm getting shot at. Let me just walk out the battlefield like a badass.
Yeah. Well, it just seems like, okay, so that game came out in 2013. Or I guess the end of 2012, yeah. At that point, every video game has Sprint. Every shooter has Sprint. I mean, every console shooter has Sprint. I mean, you know, Call of Duty, Battlefield, you name it, they all had it. It's like, it just seemed like an anachronism not to have it, and even Halo Reach itself had it. Mm-hmm. So, but I know that this is still, to this day, a source of gigantic contention about Sprint in the game. So you are not a person who thinks Sprint is like totally ruining the game.
No, because, I mean, Sprint is something that will make it more realistic. When you're sitting there battling these giant aliens and the Covenant and all, you're not going to sit there and walk. You're going to run. If you're in a simulation like the Red versus Blue, all it is a simulation for the UNSC. So you're in these simulations and you're battling each other. You're not going to walk. You want to get behind cover. You want to duck behind cover. And especially with Halo 5, the way you're able to slide right behind cover when you're running. Perfect. When you're able to grab onto those ledges, perfect. It's not just something that shouldn't be there. It is revolutionary. It's game-changing.
Well, you know, I'll admit that I think it feels smooth. It feels very smooth. The beta, the Halo 5 beta, yeah, it felt good. I liked it. But then again, still there's people who are bemoaning the fact that the competitive nature of Halo is not... The competitive guys like no Sprint. You know, and they're saying it's not made for them. That Halo 5 is not going to be competitive. But you know it's going to have competitive support behind it.
Yes. MLG literally is back for Halo 5. EA owns, as you know, owns the MLG section and all that. So, obviously, if people are going to sit there and complain about Sprint being in there competitively, I mean, your shields are not recharging. I mean, when you sprint and your shields are down, you are not recharging your shields. You have to wait a while. So
it took a while to get used to that.
Yeah. And then the other thing is competitive players is not the majority. That is not the majority of the Halo community. The majority is casuals. People who like having fun. People who are going to play it for fun. And I don't care if I get hate out there. I don't give a crap.
Well, you said MLG is picking it up. I hadn't heard that. As far as I know, Microsoft is running their own competitive.
No. And yes, but EA is what is in for Halo 5. And EA owns or runs MLG.
Okay, so you think there'll be MLG Halo tournaments again?
Yes. I feel very strong about that.
Okay, well, Microsoft has their own, HCS, competition.
Yes.
Are you a person who follows that at all, or are you up on that?
I have watched it quite often, and some of the matches in there are really, really great. Shout out to Straight Rippin', good job.
Yeah. Well, I love the casters. Golden Boy and Walshy. Yeah, they're great. They're great. So, do you spend? So apparently, you spend quite a bit of your time playing the single player, the campaign mode. Do you spend very much time playing the multiplayer
I don't play matchmaking too often. If I do, you can find me in Team Snipes. I practice my time sitting there no-scoping people, and I will no-scope you from across the map.
Reach out and touch someone.
Challenge accepted. Do you have an octagon that we can mess around with?
I do not have an octagon, but give me about 15 minutes in Forge, and I'll go ahead and get a perfect one made for you.
Well, there we go. There we go. Actually, I love practicing in the octagon. I think it's great fun. It's like, even though most people I've played with usually clean my clock, it's still fun. It's still fun.
Yes, it is.
It's fun to be able to learn new strategies and techniques to better enhance your skill.
Okay, so you're into Forge. So what about custom games? Do you like to do the crazy stuff with vehicles and all that?
There's a lot of things that I love doing, and the thing I love doing best is making mindfuck maps. So they are puzzles that are almost nearly impossible if you don't know anything about what you are doing. If you have a bad memory, these puzzles are not for you. If you have a short raging span, these puzzles are not for you.
not for me.
Okay. Well, I'm not good with directions, so I probably would fall off your maps and stuff like that.
You might. You never know.
But I'm always up for customs. It's a lot of fun. It's like anything to keep me away from the public at large. The public I hate.
Yeah.
Now I will say that the multiplayer population of Halo is not as bad as it is the Call of Duty multiplayer population.
To me, Call of Duty or Camp or Die. Call of Duty to me is literally a who sees who first game. It is not, honestly, it's not really about skill. But when you put Halo in there, yes, they have the same mode for like Call of Duty called SWAT. That's the most similar to Call of Duty. However, all the other game types, it requires skill. You have your shields, and if you get shot at first, you can easily turn that right back around and destroy your opponent. So if you got a sniper, you've got maybe rockets, just turn right around, cap them.
Yeah. Well, it's also about the crispy fours, on your BR and
yes,
and nailing them headshots and strafing so your opponent doesn't get you and all that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I love, the art of the gunfight. Mano a mano. So E3 is coming up next week.
Yes. Are you excited?
Sure. I'd love to find out what all's coming out.
Here's my prediction on E3.
Okay.
I predict the Halo 5 console is going to be revealed. And I also predict that there is going to be gameplay, possibly campaign and Forge.
Ah. Well, there might be. I mean, there might be. They got to keep pumping the hype, pumping that hype.
You got to keep the hype going. All aboard the hype train, everyone.
Well, yeah, I mean, they started the hype sort of extra early, back in January with or December and January with the beta. So, it's like they got to give us more. They got to give us a little bit more.
Yeah.
At least.
Hunt the Truth, that's been going on great. What's your opinion on Hunt the Truth?
I haven't been following it. Just because, I haven't had time, but what do you think about it?
Well, it's extremely interesting. I mean, it's about time someone's doing something against Oni. The Office of Naval Intelligence has been corrupt for God knows how long throughout all the Halo lore. So it's pretty funny how it takes one reporter just to simply twist the tides around and have all these other people helping him out. I mean, who would have thought that another operative and the ONI would sit there and actually help this lone reporter out? And then all of a sudden, you got all these hackers that are coming on board and going live. So you actually get to see how corrupt Oni is. And then all of a sudden you get to see how pretty much it looks like how they will fall.
So, what do you think about the fact that part of the gameplay is going to be Locke instead of Master Chief?
Well, one thing I can say is I love the fact that a new character is coming in. Now, a lot of people are sitting there already hating on Agent Locke because of the fact that he is an Office of Naval Intelligence operative. And the thing is, what Frank O'Connor had stated is Locke is indeed a protagonist. He is not an antagonist. He is not someone who is going to sit there and actually be a bad guy. So my predictions on that part for Halo 5 is that he is going to help Chief. He is not going to go against Chief.
Well, that's not what the reveal videos, the two separate reveal videos showed. This like they're mortal enemies, like trying to finish each other off.
Yes, but what you see, you can't always say that is always 100%. What if Locke was making it look like he killed him to Oni, to make it look like his mission was a success? What if it was meant to show that they were sitting there to fight each other, but in reality, they were trying to disable their communications?
Yeah. Well, maybe they were fighting each other, and then at some point that we don't see because it was just a short clip, then they understand that they're actually on the same side.
Yep. What do you like? Well, that brings me to my question for you. With the Halo 5 reveal art for the cover art, what do you think it means with Blue Team underneath Agent Locke and Locke's team underneath Chief? What do you think that means to you?
I hadn't really thought about it. What do you think it means?
Don't ask me. I don't know.
Well, with me, I believe that, to me, it means that they are one and the same, that they are on the same side. Because when you think about it, in the last episode of Hunt the Truth, it was revealed that John did not kill those civilians. He did not kill any of those innocent people, that he was indeed actually with the Arbiter. So, with that being said, if Oni is framing Spartan 2, where Spartan 2s are usually the ones that are looked greatly upon, they are the legends of the UNSC. So, other Spartans, when they hear about that, most likely they are going to defect. When they see how corrupt the people are that they are working for, they will turn around and they will help their brothers because they have all gone through the same thing. They know what it's like. They know what it's like to be a pawn. And they will turn just as quick.
Your cat is hilarious.
Yes.
She's like getting into all kinds of shit over there.
Sitting there trying to... No, she didn't jump back up there, but she was sitting there trying to climb on the wall there.
Yeah, I saw her looking at something. Maybe there's a bug or a moth or something.
She just goes crazy in general.
She's a crazy cat. So let's talk about your video game history. So obviously Halo is probably not the very first video game you ever played. So how far back does the gaming history go?
To tell you the truth, Halo was pretty much the very first game. I've played Halo Combat Evolved for the original Xbox. A little after that, I had gotten a Super Nintendo, and I played Super Mario World. That was one of my favorite games. I completed it 100%, found all the secret places everywhere. Then I would say the Pokemon franchise. That was one of my favorites growing up. I still play it today. You could call me a nerd. I don't give a crap. It's fun.
You're a nerd.
Yeah, I say I am a nerd. I am a tech nerd. I know a lot of crap about PC, all that stuff. So then I moved on with the GameCube. And on there I played Super Smash Bros. And all these other Nintendo games that were really cool. Then I moved on to the Xbox again with Halo 2. And then I ended up going up from there all the way to Halo 4 and also Tomb Raider. That's one of my
Okay, well, you seem like you skipped a couple of Halos in there.
Yeah, Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3 ODST, Halo Wars, Halo 4, Halo Spartan Strike, Spartan Assault, Halo 5 Beta.
Reach?
Yeah. Oh, Halo Reach, but I did not like Reach.
You did not like Reach.
Okay. I didn't like it.
I liked the idea of Noble Team. I loved that idea. However, to me, Halo Reach did not feel like Halo. It felt like a different game. It just didn't make sense. Why would there be all these different guns that were never portrayed in any of the other Halos? Why would there be these technologies from Reach that you couldn't use in Halo 2, Halo 1, and Halo 3? And all these armor abilities and stuff, it just was not around before Halo 1. So why would it be on Reach? The other thing is the story behind it was not 100% canon. Yes, I said it.
Okay.
It's not consistent. When you sit there and you play through the campaign and stuff, at the end you end up seeing Chief and a cryotube. Now, thing is, in the lore, Chief was already aboard the Pillar of Autumn.
Pillar of Autumn, yeah.
He was already on board there. So how could he be inside a ship where you just look to the left, I think it is. It's either the left or the right. But you just look over to one of those sections and you see Chief right there in a cryotube.
That was his evil twin.
Right. Actually had a theory of it not really being Chief. Like, in my mind, obviously Bungie said it's Chief. But in my mind, I was thinking it could have been one of the Blue Team members. Because on the Pillar of Autumn, there was one that was critically injured. I believe that was Linda, I believe. I can't remember, but the vibe was reading that the person was dead. So, for all we know, it could have been that person just to kind of canon it a little. But other than that, I mean, I liked the look of it. It looked pretty cool. The maps were great. The armor, I did not like. It did not feel like Halo at all. Especially, the only one that felt like Halo was Recon. That's the only one to me. The other ones, it just felt like a futuristic sci-fi military movie. It didn't feel like it.
So what did you think about the Halo 4 campaign?
Halo 4 campaign, I knew it was heading there from Halo 3.
I mean, we really got to get to know Cortana.
Yes. The thing I loved about Halo 4's campaign, not only was it something fresh and new with the Halo series, but you didn't expect it. I mean, when you were playing Halo 3 and all, you were hinted about the Forerunners, but they were a long-gone, extinct civilization. So you never thought that you would run into them in another Halo. So in Halo 4, it showed off a great new species. Obviously, they were converted into digitalized into AIs. But then you see the Didact. Now, that threw a really good twist on it. The weapons, great. However, I think the weapons could have been a lot more original. To me, they were kind of copied off of the UNST versions of the weapons and etc. But yeah,
you talking about the Forerunner weapons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a pocket shotgun for a pistol.
I did like the light rifle. It was kind of different from.
I liked the light rifle
and the DMR.
I also loved the scatter shot and binary rifle.
Oh yeah, that's vicious.
But back to the part with, the conclusion of what I thought of it is basically you get to see Chief more as a human than as a type of person with no feelings whatsoever. I mean, before you thought of him as some type of space robot or something. You didn't really see him as
he's a super soldier.
Right.
Gets the job done every time.
So actually seeing him mourn over Cortana was a great thing. You get to experience him as a human, and The other thing I didn't like was so many people were presuming Cortana dead. No one ever confirmed she was dead. And Cortana, spoiler alert, does have a role in Halo 5.
Cortana has a role in Halo 5.
Yes.
Wow.
I understand some people have told me that you have a friend who has got a connection with 343.
Correct.
So there you go. So you heard it here. You heard it here. So is Cortana dead or is she not dead?
I cannot answer that.
Okay. Well, actually, it's kind of an interesting question because was she actually alive? So, I mean...
Yes, I would say she was, because she was a clone of Dr. Halsey.
Right. But so, she was just digital. She was just like, she didn't have flesh and blood, so...
But she also had her own personality, whereas the other AIs did not. She was able to learn. She was able to evolve and adapt. Other AIs could not do that.
And she could make wisecracks.
Yes.
Which we liked.
That was one of my favorite things in there. Like, watch it. There's two of us in here, remember? And and Combat Evolved, one of the most famous in there.
So I would hate to think that Halo 5 would not have Cortana in some way. I mean, it would just be a damn shame.
And I mean, I'm very excited for Halo 5. I mean, it is going to be the darkest of the Halo lore, so I'm pretty confident it's going to be really good, and I'm very confident that it will bring the Halo community back to its prime.
Really, you think so?
I really do.
This will be a renaissance.
Yeah.
Well, you know, a lot of people are pretty mad at the Master Chief Collection.
Yes, I know that. I understand. With the Master Chief Collection, I understand a lot of people's frustration, and apparently so does my cat. But the Master Chief Collection, it was pretty bad to launch it broken. I would agree on that. However, Microsoft has its deadlines, and the game was complete, but it was not tested on the servers like it should have been. Running 4 different games, now 5 games, on right in unison, all together on our original servers as one game, with all of the UI coexisting with each other. It is an extremely hard thing to accomplish. No other game has actually been able to do that on the new gen console. I get it. People say the orange box has done it. I understand that, but that was the original Xbox. I mean, or was it 360? It was one of those two. Anyway, that was something that was simple for that. You weren't running things at 60 frames per second. You weren't making all of the original servers for those games launch simultaneously. So, would I say that 343 is the complete blame? No. I would have to say it is equally just as much as Microsoft's fault as it is 343 Industries. But I can guarantee that 343 Industries will not make that same mistake. Halo 5, there's a reason why there was a multiplayer beta.
Right. Now there's probably some people who think that 343 didn't care. Like, okay, we've got Halo 5 coming out. That's what we care about. 343, they already paid their money. They bought their broken product. And we'll sort of get around to fixing it if we can, maybe we will. But we sort of don't give a shit anymore. Do you think that that's true?
No. And here is the explanation for that. If 343 Industries did not care, would you have gotten a Halo 3 ODST campaign added on? Would you have gotten exclusive in-game content for those who played up until December 19th? As well, would you have gotten a free month of gold? Would you have gotten an actual thread on the website apologizing and guaranteeing that you guys would get all this, as well as a new remastered map? How many other gaming companies do you know of that would take the time out to make a whole nother game compatible on the Xbox One and sharpening the graphics? Granted, ODST is not fully remastered, but it is remastered to run at 60 frames per second, as well as the skins on it is a lot better than the Halo 3 ODST and 360.
Right.
Granted, DICE has helped. They had, or not helped, but they had helped their customers out. Yes, they had given them some gold, and I believe free DLC, and that's it. Other companies had done the same thing, but they did not give as much as 343 Industries has.
Well, big goof up requires a big apology. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to Halo 5. I'm going to be playing the hell out of it. I've already played it enough to know that I like it. I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm sold. You know, go ahead and take my money, damn it.
Lighten up his wallet, man. He's ready to go.
If they wanted to move up the release, that would be all fine with me. I wouldn't have any problem with that.
October 27th, 2015. I mean, that's really not that far away at all.
Yeah, it's not at all. 4 months.
I will actually tell you the exact countdown for it.
The exact countdown.
4 months, 22 days, 1 hour, 34 minutes now, and 56 seconds.
Hold your breath till then.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is, like, in gaming news, just like, was it yesterday or was it the day before, PlayStation announced they're having their version of the Master Chief Collection. They're having the Nathan Drake Collection with their hit game Uncharted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, I wish Sony the best. I am almost going to guarantee they're going to have a lot of mess up like the Master Chief Collection did. If they don't have people that are extremely experienced with combining games and having the UI to not have any problems, they're going to run into a lot of problems. I mean, even with 343 Industries, there's a lot of people who know what they're doing in there. A lot of people who know how to handle the next-gen console. But they were not anywhere near experienced enough to be able to bring all 4 games together like the vision was. Well,
maybe Uncharted will have learned some lessons from 343. I don't know.
See, but I highly doubt Microsoft is going to help Sony.
No. Now, it's interesting because the big, the Nathan Drake collection is going to be basically all Sony's fucking got.
A lot of people out there, we got the Xbox fans, the PlayStation fans, and we got the Nintendo fans, etc. I'm not biased toward any console. I love Sony. I love Microsoft. I love Nintendo. I love all 3 companies. They all have their great games. So instead of starting to try to pick a fight with another console saying, oh, this one's better because of this, and that, I mean, I could easily say Xbox is better because of Halo, or Sony is better because of whatever Sony has.
The Last of Us. They've got The Last of Us.
But that's just not the way it's going to work. I mean, you've got all of these great games. Gran Turismo, one of my favorite games on PlayStation. They have, 6 of them out now? Going to be 7?
Yep.
Then Tomb Raider was exclusive to PlayStation for a long time. And I think it was the last one was Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness was the last one on PlayStation for exclusive. Then Xbox took it over. So you've got all these great games for both consoles, so why fight about
it? Well, me and Flex own both consoles.
Right. I'm going to be getting a PS4 here pretty soon. There's some games that I'm looking forward to on PlayStation 4.
Well, they don't have too much big stuff coming out in this year for E3, at least of what I've heard. Yeah. They do have No Man's Sky, which is like that space.
It looks good.
procedurally generated, where there's like the monsters and stuff, and the terrain will be like, it's like they don't need a designer necessarily for every single detail, because the game will do that for it. That sounds interesting.
It does.
Yeah. Speaking of game design, I understand that you are an artist.
Yes, I am a concept artist.
Okay. Well, you know earlier you were showing us some stuff. Do you want to whoop that out?
Yeah.
Get a taste of that? Okay, BPU audience, we're going to get a chance to see some interesting stuff.
Share screen. Okay, so this is the only one I am going to reveal. This is for a game that is currently being worked on called Temple Zero. It is a survivor horror first-person shooter. So it's a pretty great game to me as far as the concept of it. Here you can see on the child there is a scar on his face. That is from a fire when he was a baby. The monkey, I'm not going to explain anything about that until a later date. But so far, this is the progress we have on it. This is the child here in the model form. And over here is the drawing of the character and all that.
What's that thing on his lip?
That is almost like a tattoo, but it's a decoration. It's not. So it's just a decoration that is there for ceremonia.
Okay, and we're back. That'll present a little editing challenge later in this video for me. So
it's good for you.
Yeah,
pretty good for you, I guess. Sharpen that brain up.
Yeah. So you're a person who's normally from where?
In Redmond, Washington area.
Redmond, Washington. I think I know of a company that has this home base in that town.
There's a few. I mean, 343 Industries is in Kirkland, which is about 10 minutes away. Then you've got Microsoft's. Then you've got Microsoft's HQ in Redmond, Washington. You've got other local companies as well in Washington. So, especially right in Seattle, there's a pretty decent amount of people there for it.
Right. Well, but right now, talking to us, you're in where?
In New Jersey.
You're in New Jersey.
Yes.
Well, you don't have a New Jersey accent. I'll tell you that right now.
I am not. I'm not from the area at all.
All right. So you're actually from the Washington State area, and that's where you grew up?
No, it's not actually. Where I'm from, I will not specifically say, but I can say it's not any of the states.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. He was born on a ship
I was born
at sea. He was born on a plane flying over the sea.
That's where I was born. I was born in the eyes of God.
Okay. Well, everybody is like thinks Flex was born where he was born, but some people don't know for sure if Flex was really born or if he was hatched.
Hatched.
Let me see. I see a few bumps on his head where he might have been dropped. So, yeah, I was hatched.
He's definitely been dropped a few times.
A few.
Hey, let's give it up for that BPU shirt, baby. Bulletproof Underwear. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. So how was it? How do you like Washington? I know a lot of people who live there really like that area.
I love it.
The Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. The reason why I love it so much is that it's really not like most of the other states. You've got a very moist climate there. Then when it comes to the surroundings, in Seattle alone even, Seattle's a pretty decent sized city. But when you go in the outskirts of Seattle, all you see are pine. I mean, so much woods and stuff that is undisturbed in the area. So it's great to actually see that, and the wildlife there is beautiful.
So you actually have some nature.
Got some little bunny rabbits hopping around.
Bunny rabbits and squirrels, and they're hiding their nuts.
And there has been rumored sights of Bigfoot in Seattle or in Washington State.
So what is Bigfoot? Is Bigfoot like a is that like a person who's like deformed, or is that a bear? Is that a chimpanzee? What is that?
It is called what they call a Yeti. A Yeti is, from my understanding,
that's from the Himalayas.
Right. But it's like a monkey, but it also resembles a Homo sapien. So...
Yeah. Now, if you ever played Red Dead Redemption, there's some part of it where you have to kill or not kill the last Bigfoot. And you have a little conversation with him.
And then you whack him.
Well, yeah, he's begging for you to kill him because, you've already killed all the rest of his kind. So he's begging you to shoot him dead. So who am I to argue? Take that.
Killed.
So did you play Red Dead?
No, I have not.
Oh, my God. I would love so much if they surprise us with Red Dead is coming out. If Rockstar announces that.
I'm also excited for Rock Band 4.
Rock Band, right up your alley, Flex.
Hey, Flex, be sure to hit me up on Xbox One for it, and I will play with you.
All right. Yeah,
all right.
It's coming out this fall, man.
So are you going to be able to use all your DLC from 360 on the Xbox One version?
They claim, they said.
Planned on having all DLC on there from what you have purchased in the past.
Wow. How many songs do you got, Flex?
800.
Wow.
Something like that.
Also, you'll be able to use your old plastic guitars.
Yes.
You don't have to buy a new one.
Yeah, but mine is so wore out, I got to buy a new one.
Well, you could also just pick them up at a flea market or a thrift store, or you can get it on Craigslist or something.
That's true.
How many songs do you have in your iTunes library? Any of you?
I don't have any iTunes library. I just when I want to listen to a song, I just click on it like on YouTube or something.
I have recently added, as close as I can guess, 900 tracks.
I have 2,918 in my library.
Recently, wow. 9,000.
Well, you're into music, obviously. So what is your favorite?
1,918 tracks.
Ah, very good. Very good. So what kind of music do you like to listen to?
I will listen to anything that actually has a real story in it. I will not listen to that stuff like fuck this bitch crap. I will not listen to that. To me, that's not music. If there's a difference between fucking a bitch and practicing love between the sheets.
Okay. For a second there, I thought you said practicing love between sheep.
No, sheets.
No. There is a difference.
Say one. Little one.
Well, I like a lot of different kinds of music. In fact, I just bought a banjo the other day.
Nice. Can you play it?
I can play a little bit. I mean, I got a chord chart, and it's only got, a few strings. It's like, it's a 5-string banjo, but the 5th string is only halfway up the neck. Mm-hmm. And it's tuned to an open G. It's like easy as crap to play chords on it. Now, the picking with the finger picks, I have the finger picks. That is going to take some time. That's going to take some time. But one of these days, we're going to replace the theme music. Maybe not for all time. Maybe just once. The theme music for our intro. We'll put a little yam juice on the banjo. Get down. Mow down with the hoe down.
Yambo jamming on the banjo.
Yeah. So, anywho, is there anything that you would like to plug right now? We're going to put your YouTube channel link in the description. And Twitter, are you on like Instagram or
on Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, Instagram, Twitch, you name it. Pretty much every social network out there I'm on.
Okay, well, do me a favor. It's just like put them all. Just send me a Skype message, and I'll make sure that they all appear down below in this video.
I will certainly do that.
All right, so you seem to be quite a Halo lore kind of a guy. You are pretty up on your lore.
I'm somewhat decent.
Well, we have a couple of people who've been on the show that are kind of up there with their Halo lore too. We should have you back talking Halo lore with somebody like Crazy Spartan or one of those guys. Crazy
Spartan, he's actually one of my friends, so I think that would actually be a really, really interesting show.
Yeah, I think so. So we can get you back on again, maybe?
I would say definitely. There is no maybe about it.
All right. That's what we like to hear. So, if you're still watching Bulletproof Underwear, episode number 153, that's 153 continuous episodes. We've never missed a week. Good for you. I'm your co-host, Yamzeus.
And I am your co-host, Flex.
And once again, we would like to thank Teh Pointyhead. I just want to say duh. Teh Pointyhead. Yeah! Woo! All right, so this is what we talked about earlier. Flex, your face is going to freeze like that.
It should.
It kick you up a notch. Anyway, so we'd like to thank you for watching the show, and there's nothing left to do except Mr. Flex.
Bye, everybody.
Take us out. Bloop.